Dusk begins to fall on Palestine. Hiking his way through the fields and valleys and mountains is the old man, Samuel, a prophet, a mortal who speaks with the creator of the universe, his tattered cloak fluttering in the wind, his red tunic stained with dust and dirt from his long and weary travels, his white hair shock white, acting as a beacon of light as he travels through the wilderness. He comes upon a valley. He hears the bleating of sheep. And still, in the distance, a voice, a shepherd singing softly, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." You can hear the sheep bleating almost in time with the young shepherd's rhythm. But that's not his mission. He's on his way to Bethlehem. He can hear a still small voice, "Turn this way," as he heads towards this city of light on a hill. He's lied about why he's here. The king, Saul, is very demanding and very controlling. He told the king he's come to Bethlehem to offer sacrifices, but the truth is, he's here to choose the next king. He walks down the street. He walks to the home of a man named Jesse. Jesse is a large man in the town, both literally and metaphorically. He has many sons, and they're well known for their exploits, both good and bad. He is immediately greeted with warmth and celebration as he enters the home of Jesse. "The prophet has come to our humble abode. What must he be seeking?" And so they set the table before him, and they feed him, and they listen to his wisdom as he speaks the words of God. Eventually, someone has the temerity to ask, Prophet Samuel, what brings you to our humble home?" The prophet looks around. "You must keep this in the strictest confidence, but I have come to anoint the next king of Israel, and he will be one of your sons." Samuel repeated just as the Lord had told him. And so Jesse is excited. His son will be the king of all of Israel, God's chosen and anointed warrior. He can't imagine it. So quickly he brings out his oldest son. That is the culture. The oldest son, the firstborn, has the birthright. He is to be the leader over the younger. And as Jesse brings in his oldest son, a strong man, tall, broad-shouldered, working in the fields, diligent in his work, Samuel looks him over. Wow, this will be a great king. He's diligent. He's about his business. And there's a small voice behind him. "This is not the one." Samuel is surprised. This is the firstborn. He is tall and strong and well-spoken. Surely this must be the one. No. Samuel must confess, "Dear Jesse, this is not the one whom I'm to anoint. You have other sons?" And so Jesse is surprised, but surely the Lord must know what he's doing. And so he calls in his second oldest son and says, "Yes, come and meet the prophet." And his second son comes in, a man of great cleverness, of great business, a well-spoken man, well-dressed, well put together. He knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to be diplomatic and broker peace. And Jesse can just imagine this man making a wonderful king and dealing with all the nations around them with firmness, but gentleness. And Samuel looks at him. And he can too imagine this being a great king, but that voice, that small voice behind him, says, "No." Samuel must confess, "Jesse, this is not the one either. Do you have any other sons?" Jesse brings out his third son. Now Jesse is confused, almost doubting. He brings out his third son, a hard-working man, perhaps not the brightest, but his will to do the right thing is almost unshakable. "I'm sorry, Jesse, this is not the one." Now Jesse is returned. He wonders perhaps the prophet is not listening to the proper spirits, but he is the prophet, so we should bring out more sons. And Jesse goes through all 7 of the sons that he has that were present. Each one, no, this is not the one. And then the second youngest son asks, what about David? Meanwhile, David's out in the fields. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, David, I will fear no evil. David. And they're waving him to come in from the field. He leaves the sheep with one of the hired shepherds. He comes into his father's house, and he immediately recognizes the prophet Samuel. And the prophet Samuel immediately recognizes him. This is the one. Man looks on the outward, but God looks at what is in the heart. Samuel stands and pulls out his flask and cracks open the oil and anoints David's head and prays over him, anointing him as the king of Israel. Not the next king of Israel, but anointing him king of all of Israel. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. And so begins the story of David.